explore amazing destinations and simplify your travel plans.
It's time for Travel with Ease.
Join Abiodun Samson every Wednesday from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. on JDN Radio 101.5 FM.
In our first segment, we dive into the depth of travel. Discover breathtaking destinations, hidden gems, travel tips, and fascinating cultures that connect us all.
And in our book review segment, we bring reading back to life through audio documentaries, inspiring stories, and books that educate, entertain, and empower.
Because traveling isn't just about the places we go, it's about the knowledge we gain along the way.
Go with Ease with Abiodun Samson on JDN Radio 101.5 FM every Wednesday, 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. Your travels and education simplified.
Woke up one Sunday morning, told my daddy I'm leaving home. I'm going off to the city tomorrow, even though I don't know where to go. And daddy says, son, don't be a fool, 'cause life in the city is unbelievable. Get broken, oh, you're just a little boy, and you may.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Travel with Ease on JDN Radio 101.5 FM. And this afternoon, we're excited to share another story. It's another episode. So wherever you are, whatever you might be doing in the world, I welcome you to Travel with Ease. My name is Abiodun Samson, and we will be educating ourselves and talking about travel to simplify everything this afternoon. And as you know that this program comes into a segment, if you are just tuning in, the first part is we give you tips and also discuss interesting things that connect us all through travels. And we use the second segment to reinstall back the culture of reading into our society. So I want you to sit down and relax, because this afternoon we have a whole lot to discuss on travels.
Forgive me, Father, but I gotta take a chance. Oh, I'm already gone, so just pray for me. Hello, Daddy, how you doing? Hope Mama's doing okay. Been 4 years and 11 months now. Alone, it was true what you said to me. That life in the city is unbelievable. Had to struggle just to get by every day, and I could barely find my way. Mo mọ̀ pé mo lè ṣìnà. Mo rí pé ayé lè ṣòro. Forgive me, Father, but I gotta take a chance. Oh, I'm already gone, so just pray for me. Forgive me, Father, but I gotta take a chance. Oh, I'm already gone, so just.
Welcome back to Travel with Ease. And on this program, we've talked a lot about the magic of travels. We talked about the breathtaking sights, the new friends, the life-changing experience. And we did that on Traveling with a Difference last week. But today, we want to be flipping the coin. Yes, we want to flip the coin. We are diving into the less glamorous side of travel, you know, the challenges and the downside that don't always make it into the glossy vacation photos, you know, what you went through when you traveled and all of that, as in the issues coming from financial strain. People don't tell you. People just assume that you've jackpot, you traveled, but they don't know what you're actually going through. So today we are looking at the flip side of travel. What are those hidden details people never talked about? They just tell you, I'm traveling, I went there, we landed here, you know, something happened, my plane was disturbed and all of that, but you never get to hear the real details. So before I start, I want to say the first thing that I think people don't actually talk about, and then we don't even ask them, is the financial strain. Yes, the first big challenge is hard to ignore, which is money. When we talk about travels and doing all of that can be incredibly expensive. And if you're not on a budget, it can be a constant source of stress. And for you to travel, especially for this festive season, some people that I talked with last year that if you want to travel, you should start saving up for any vacation you want to have during the festive season. So if you have saved up for your trips and once you are there, you have to stick to your budget. That is it. That is seeing your bank balance dindo while looking at incredible but pricey sites can be a real downer. It can actually, make you feel down. And you're not just spending money on flights, you're spending on accommodation, you're spending on you're spending money on flights, you're spending money on food, you're spending money on a lot of things. And sometimes the reality of your finances may lead to less than the glamorous job just to keep going. And I want to say that it is the price you pay for freedom, but it is a price that can take a toll on you. So that is a part that people do not talk about when it comes to travel. And for you to actually understand all these that I'm talking about, I actually went for an exercise to ask people. I asked these 3 questions: that what is the biggest travel challenge you have faced? And what I heard, I feel I have to share with you. So you see that when you see people that travels, they do go through a lot. Aside from the fact that, you are this and that, there are still the downside that people do not see. Like what we say, that for every success, there is always a lot of failures. A lot of times they told you cannot do it, and then you emerge victorious, you triumph on it. But those stories that brought you to that limelight, people do not want to hear. And that is what we want to discuss on the program, The Flip Side of Travel. On Travel with Ease, your education in travel simplified on JDN Radio 101.5 FM. Let's take a moment.
My bags, I'm leaving town. I bought a one-way ticket, I ain't coming back. It's goodbye, friends, and goodbye.
Welcome back. It's still Travel with Ease, education and travel simplified on JDN Radio 101.5 FM. Do not forget that we are live on Facebook on JDN Radio, and also on YouTube, JDN Radio 101.5 FM, and also on Radio Garden, JDN Radio 101.5 FM, and also on our website, www.jdnradio1015.com. So you can listen to us anywhere you are in the world. So the questions I asked were: the biggest travel challenge you faced, and I asked that what is one thing you wished you knew before traveling? And the third question is, what is the most frustrating travel experience you have had? And what I heard was it was a reality that yes, if we've not heard it or we've not known, it is an opportunity for you to learn from people's experience. And right about now, we'll be listening to some of what we've heard on the flip side of travels, what people face. The first thing I said is the money constraints, which I said is the financial strain. And the next voice you'll be listening to is going to be the vox pop of what people have said about the flip side of travel that you never get to see on reels, you never get to see on photos, you never get to see on cameras, and they never get to display that for you. It's still Travel with Ease, education and travel simplified on JDN Radio 101.5 FM. Let's take a moment.
And goodbye, mama. Please don't cry.
My name is Shem from Lagos. My biggest travel challenge was when I went to the UK for the first time. On getting to the bus station to board intercity, bus as I was told to do. I realized there was no way for me to use normal currency, but I had to book online, and I left Nigeria with £50. So somebody advised me to go to the train station that normal currency will be received. On getting to the train station, the attendant told me my fee to the state I was going to, which happened to be the city that I was going to, was £50 and 7 pence. Remember, I had only £50 on me, so I got stranded. So I had to be making calls via WhatsApp calls. So one of my male friends eventually did the booking for me after contacting some other guys too. So when he sent the receipt to me, I eventually bought the train to get to where I was going to. That was my biggest challenge of not knowing that if you are boarding interstate, almost all bookings in the UK, you have to do it via internet subscription. They don't normally receive cash, but in some few cases, maybe within city, the cash transaction is always being received, but mostly it's always done on the website. The most frustrating travel experience I had was when I went to Turkey. Then, on coming back to Nigeria, I think because I needed to meet up with the flight very early in the morning, so I had to come and sleep at the airport overnight. Unfortunately, when I was supposed to board around around 7 a.m. in Turkey, which happened to be at the normal Nigerian time, that would be around 6 a.m. in Nigeria, because Turkey is 1 hour ahead of Nigeria. I was delayed for another 8 hours. So most people that we slept overnight had already left. Some flights that were coming in from Nigeria with their people trying to connect with other flights that we were together, they left. So I was left alone at the resting zone. So I had to just be looking, because there was nobody to be communicating with, nothing on me to be reading. Even the internet, I had to just be browsing just Google, Google, Google. I couldn't even enjoy anything. The slow snow was just falling. So everything became so frustrating because I was unable to sleep overnight. I spent another 8 hours again waiting for the flight coming to Nigeria. That was the biggest, most frustrating thing I've ever experienced while traveling out of the country. One thing I wish I knew before traveling was some intermodal connections between airport to maybe seaport or airport to train station. There was a time I left Nigeria to Birmingham. Then I was not told that at the airport you could quickly just enter the lift to the topmost floor, then enter one carriage train. So as I was checked in after immigration checking point, I just stepped outside of the airport and started asking people for the nearest train station. The guy just pointed to me that when you go to the other side, just cross. You see it. I trekked inside a very, very cold weather for almost 20 minutes before getting to the train station. So on getting to the train station, I missed my platform, because when I asked another agent there for the platform number, she was just giving me the wrong direction. So instead of me to be going to the direction I was supposed to be going to, she gave me the wrong one. That this is the platform was showing 2 and 3, but actually I was on 2. So the train coming for 2, the place you are supposed to be is different from the place coming from, going to 3. So in the cold, I was just feeling cold all through because I didn't know. Whereas when I was coming back, somebody just told me, when you get off from the train, just from that train station, ask from the attendants where you can get the cart going to the airport. Just within 2 minutes, there was a single carry from the train station that carried me on the train track directly behind the normal route of train tracks into the airport directly for checking in to flight. So I wish I had known all these things. I wouldn't have gone through all those cold movement that I went to during the period I was going.
Hi, hello. My name is Aki, and I live in the United Kingdom. So, I would say the biggest challenge I faced, traveling challenge I faced, I think that was in 2018. So I was traveling from Barcelona to Paris. So I got to the airport. I've checked in my bag, and I was waiting to board, and all of a sudden, I just had an announcement that my flight has been cancelled. So it was very frustrating because I had a friend waiting for me in Paris, and we planned to do some things together. My friend has actually flown in from South Africa. So, well, eventually I couldn't make the flight, and they had to put us in a hotel to the next day for the flight. So all the plans that I had to do in Paris with my friend, I couldn't do them, and I couldn't even see my friend before he traveled back to South Africa. So I would say that was the major like travel challenge I faced like the major one I faced ever since I've been traveling. Yeah, so I would say the most frustrating travel experience I've had. I think that was in 2019. I was traveling from Bologna in Italy to Lagos. So I was flying Turkish here. So I had a connecting flight from Istanbul. So there was an 18-hour layover between my flight from Bologna to Istanbul. So normally I've had to fly like airlines where I have like layover of like 6, 7, 8 hours, and the status quo is for them to put us in a hotel or like a guest house or somewhere where we're gonna lay our head. So I was like, how can I have a layover of 18 hours and nobody will put me in a hotel? It's not possible. So on my way to the airport, my pastor was telling me, are you flying Turkish? I said, yes. Yeah, they're not going to give you any accommodation. I said, Pastor, it's not possible. I got to the airport, flew to Istanbul, and I was there for 18 hours. No accommodation, nothing. I was in the airport like for 18 hours before I could connect to Lagos. So I would say that's still the most depressing and the most frustrating travel experience I've had till date. So I vowed never to fly Turkish here like after that experience, although I've flown them like 3 times after that. Like I started flying them again last year. And, like the experiences I've had, they're kind of different from what I had like back then in 2019. Well, I guess like right now when I'm flying Turkish Air, I make sure my flight the stopover does not exceed 2 hours because I know they won't provide accommodation. So I would say that's the like most frustrating travel experience that I've had till date. If people ask me, or when people ask me that what's one thing I wish I knew before traveling, I would say I never knew traveling could be very, very stressful. The first time I was traveling, I was kind of excited, like like getting on the plane, traveling out of Nigeria, stuff like that. So I was kind of excited. But at a point in my life, because I've traveled to so many countries and so many places, I grew tired of traveling. So even sometimes when I'm traveling just for like 1 hour, like to be so demanding for me. So it's before I started traveling, if someone had told me at a point you get tired of flying or traveling, I would say no, it won't happen. But right now, in fact, I don't really like traveling as such as I used to when I started traveling the first time. So I would say, which I knew before I started traveling was that traveling can be very frustrating and very um, depressing and very not exciting at a point.
My name is Pauline. I want to talk about the biggest travel challenge I faced. The one of flight is traveling by flight when you hear fancy your seat belt, maybe being the first time. I almost fainted. I was vomiting. It was serious. It took me like 1 hour before I could get myself. It took me almost 1 hour, and I've been hearing when you travel by flight, everywhere is you enjoy, that kind of a thing. But I never know there will be galloping. Imagine you are inside plane and you are hearing boom 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 boom. That kind of a thing. I was scared, but to God be the glory. I landed safely. Then the other one is traveling by road. When travel by road, that is, I spent almost 3 days. 3 days, 3 to 4 days, yes. That's almost 4 days from Nigeria to Ivory Coast. It wasn't easy. Where are you going? What do you want to go and do? What do you have for your load? This you cannot take it to our country. Or all that one. It's not easy at all. Very frustrating. Things I wish to know before traveling. What is their rules and regulations? Maybe inside flight. I remember while I was traveling then, I took some things that I think it will be useful for me. But when I bought into a certain place in one airport like that, everything, my roll-on, my perf, cream, they collect everything for me. It was so annoying that I used money to buy. That when I get to where I'm going to use it. Collect everything. Everything was collected. It's very, very annoying. How I wish I have known all those things. I wouldn't have waste my money. It's not even as advisable when you're traveling to go with plenty luggage. It's not advisable. How about the expenses? So it's better you go with just a little of your clothing essence, especially if you are not going to stay there for long, or if it's it's something that you can get when you get there. It's better because of you pay for cargo, all these things. I didn't know. That was how I wasted morning while I was coming back home. It was a great experience. The most frustrating travel experience I've had is when our traveling got to break down. It's very, very annoying, especially when it's where you don't stop looking for hotel to sleep. All those ones. It's not a good experience. See a woman, your monthly flow, even to get where to bathe. If there's no hotel around, it's not easy. You feel uncomfortable.
My name is Engineer Muideen, currently residing in Lagos. The number one question said I should speak about what is my biggest travel challenge in the past. My biggest travel challenge happened in 2014 when I was caught within pandemic outbreak of pandemic in Conakry in 2014. It was Ebola. I was very troubled. It's tough. Everyone thought that probably that's the end we have it. I was able to say true back to Nigeria. That's really frightened me so much. I regard that as travel challenge in outbreak of pandemic. Number two, what is one thing you wish to know, which you wish you knew before you travel? Actually, for me, I won't say I know all, but I do at least wherever I'm traveling to, I do a lot of research on the country, or the locality where I will reside. I even book my short let ahead. So I really don't really have, I'm not really aware of. The only thing I might say, probably, I'm aware, but so that it really got to that extent where snow was falling and approach it the way I thought was appropriate, but at the end of the day, I realized that it was a different ball game where the shoe I put on, I wasn't aware that it's not going to be suit the snow falling. I fell and I hit my head, so it was a serious thing. That I think that is what I would underestimate extent of the falling of snow. What is the most frustrating travel experience you've had? Yeah, sitting down in a plane for 23 hours. Very frustrating. Very frustrating.
Welcome back. It's still Travel with Ease, your education and travel simplified on JDN Radio 101.5 FM. And you can see from the Vox Pop that the question we were asked, the biggest travel challenges you faced. People don't get to sit you down and talk to you what I faced, what happens, especially the person that had to board a train and the money it's not actually enough and there they don't get cash. You have to book everything you have to do on the internet and make your booking and just show your phone and all of that and you're good to go. So if you do not ask people all of these, they won't tell you the downside of travel. And that is why we have to just talk about it, the flip side of traveling. As so much as it looks glamorous and it's a good thing to travel, there is still some other parts, and the first one I talked about is that financial strain, that it will strain you of every of your finances, and those are the few ones that we were able to get and to play for you this afternoon on the program Travel with Easy Education and Travel Simplified. Let's take a moment.
So that's where all dreams come true. I'm gonna work hard in the city, so wish me well. Wish me well.
Alright, it's still Travel with Ease, and we are still in the fourth segment. So I will be having this for another issue people face and they don't tell you when they travel is that they miss home and they miss you that they've left. Yes. They might tell you the place is this and that, but they miss all the moments you guys share together. The biggest challenge for many is being away from their families and friends. It's good to see the world, but you see it without the people who matters most because of financial constraint. You want to, travel abroad, but you can't actually go on your own with all your friends and families at the same time. So you see the world together. So if you want to see the world together, You won't have to see with people that matter most of the time because of financial constraints. So at times you miss the the big live events and birthdays, holidays, and some things. You miss that. And then you have to explain your adventure to people who are living a completely different life back home. All of these things are the flip side. They are not actually there to see all of these things. And then you now start looking for the moment, to come back home for comfort. And when you think of all the things you have to do to get back home, then you just felt like, let me just stay another year, or stay more another years again, and all of that. And time goes by and you start feeling homesick. And homesickness is very real, and sometimes it's painful. And those are the part of the flip side of traveling. So for this afternoon, I will be stopping there for the first segment. I will continue next week on Travel with Ease. Right about now, we'll be moving to the book review segment on Travel with Ease. And as you know that reading books is treasure troves of information. You put all this together to equip yourself in, if you want to communicate, you do all of these. And when you read, it helps you to communicate with people. You see life in a better way. So this afternoon, we'll be reviewing another different book. When I come back, I shall be reviewing the book we will be talking about this afternoon. It's still Travel with Ease on JDN Radio 101.5 FM, your education in travel simplified. Welcome to the book review segment on Travel with Ease. And I do say that every man's life on the planet Earth hangs on dreams and visions. And books serve as an available resources to give you enough insights. So you must expose yourself through books to gain enough knowledge and understanding on how to gain deep insights to maximize your dreams and vision. And this is reason why you need to read books. No matter how small, even if it's 1 page, 2 pages book, you have to just read something to keep your brain moving and to keep knowing things. And last week we just concluded on the book, How to Outsmart a Manipulator was what we concluded last week. And today we are into a different ball game. So this afternoon I have a book that I think I should review because, it's moving towards the festive season. And the title of the book for this afternoon is How Money Works. How Money Works. And the book, part of it says Stop Being a Sucker. And the book is written by Tom Matthew and Steve Seabird. Those are the writer of this book. And this book, I've got a lot of lessons I want to share with us this afternoon on the program Travel With Ease. If you're just tuning in right now on the frequency 101.5 FM, you're right on time. You want to be part of the conversation in 2-3 minutes, you can call into the studio line on 07048 001015 and 08022102163. 07048 001015 and 08022102163 is the number to call to be part of the conversation. And if you want to drop any comment, you can use the Facebook on JDN Radio. You can drop your comments, and sure, we're going to reply to your response. You want to contribute to the flip side of traveling, you have 1 or 2 things you want to say, you can always drop your comments on JDN Radio. So back to the book that we have for today, which is How Money Works. And this book, it's a book that would help me and everyone that are listening, because when it comes to money, everybody is involved with money, be it male, be it female, you are all involved with money. And they said the money make things happen. Yes, it make things happen. And you just have to do something to earn money, no matter how small it is. Make sure you render a service. So the first lesson I got from this book that got me thinking, and I felt that sharing this is going to be a whole lot of deal, is that this book talks about financial literacy, that it is the foundation of wealth. Financial literacy is the foundation of wealth. Now, what does the author says about this? The author argues that money problems are they are from knowledge problems. You know, people are not taught how money works in school. So they enter adulthood financially blind. Yes, they just felt when I asked for money, I'm being given money, but they don't know how the money is being made. Yes, so they are not taught and they get into adulthood and they feel they can just get money. You know, this song that has been coming up, no one will ask you what is happening, that adulthood is a scam or something, you're not a child, you don't get to ask whatever you ask and all of that. Fine. But adulthood, you need to know how money works. So it's good that people are being taught how money is made. So they know that, okay, so if I do one or two things, I get this money. When I get this money, I don't spend all, I get a save. I get to do one or two things. I need to keep some. Some people don't believe you need to keep money. They feel once you get it, you spend it all, then you get it again, it will definitely come. But a money you do not keep will definitely fly away, no matter the amount of the money. If you do not tie them up into something, they're going to develop wings and fly away. So from that book, it says that when you understand financial concepts, decisions that build wealth, instead of destroying it, you start making them. You know, decisions like interest, doing something that has to take you away from debt, insurance, and investing. All of these, people should be exposed to it, and this book talked about it greatly. So another point I got from this book is that how money, on this book titled How Money Works. The second point is that if you don't control your money, someone else will. If you don't control your money, someone else will. Like bank lenders, credit card companies, consumer brands, depends on uniform customers. So when you don't know how money works, you become a sucker who pays high interest, a sucker who buy things on impulse, you know, impulse spending. And this topic was actually treated on Money Matters on the program on this station every Monday, Money Matters. And you listen to it every Monday, 3 p.m. So he was talking about impulse spending. So if you are a sucker, you someone that pay high interest because you cannot control your money. So someone else will control it for you by you paying high interest, by you buying things on impulse, by you signing contracts without understanding them. You just sign them just because it's 100 million contracts, but you never see the clauses that you need to check. So you just sign them off to being a sucker. So you can also become dependent on credit. That is, you depend on borrowing to survive. So anytime your money comes, instead of you saving, you have to just refund the money you've borrowed, and it's not going to help you. And also, if you do not control your money as well, the knowledge shifts the power back to you. That is, those that are controlling your money, you just feel they are helping you, but no, they are controlling all that you've got and your resources. Let's take a moment to still travel with us on JDN Radio 101.5 FM. Still travel with us, and we are in the book review segment, and we are reviewing a book titled How Money Works and How to Stop Being a Sucker. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, good afternoon. Your name and where you're calling from?
I'm Jide calling from Bodija.
Oh, Mr. Jide, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
All right.
Actually, I was just laughing when I heard the prompt of where those people that traveled.
Oh, yeah.
The guy that was saying he fell inside snow. I laughed. You know, there were some things that will happen while traveling that you would not want to talk about.
Yes.
You would not want to discuss at all. Exactly when you were freezing at the park or train stations abroad. You'll be freezing and you won't be able to talk about it. And people will be standing beside you and be looking at you as a stranger. So it's just a big experience and also a frustrating thing because it's not the normal weather.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really enjoyed the conversation of the people that you interviewed.
Wow, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your call. All right. Okay, thank you, Mr. Jide, for that contribution. So he said he got one or two things about the guy that fell in the snow while playing the Vox Pop. He thought, if you're just tuning in and you're wondering what he was talking about, he said the shoe he was wearing was not appropriate in working in the snow. So he said it will work, like nothing is going to happen. But actually he fell. He thought he's where he was before, so he fell. So it's part of a lesson, the flip side that you never get to tell people that happens to you. They only see the part that, you're fresh, you're looking good. What did you bring for me? You know, that's the usual thing. But your financial strain, people never ask you, are you broke? Do you have something to survive now that you're back? Those questions will never be had. You won't see people asking you that. What did you bring for me? So what do you ask next? But there's always a flip side to everything, no matter how beautiful or how good looking the person that comes back looks like. All right, so back to the book review, which is how money works, that we are talking about. The third one I will be picking before we round off for this afternoon on Travel with Ease is on financial illiteracy. Keeps people broke. Financial illiteracy. Yes, what do I mean by that? You know, most broke people work hard, but they lack strategy. They work so hard, but they lack strategy. How? The book says the wealth gap is largely an education gap. Without understanding money, people make costly mistakes, like living on credits, not saving early, buying liabilities that feel like assets, and then falling for scams. And the whole thing that cures all of this is education. Education is the cure. Anyone that brings something like a scam to you, I've studied the old matrix, I've studied the old binary numbers, I've studied everything and see how it works. And they give it to you that do not even understand everything about all of that. And you just fell for it. And, you give that person a cool cash. And that is how it is. So what keeps people broke is financial illiteracy, not understanding how money works, not getting educated on the right way money works. When you tell them the right way, they say that right way is for the rich. I will soon get there, and I'll still talk about that. So the next point I will be looking at is compound interest is the most powerful tool for building wealth. Compound interest is the most powerful tool for building wealth. Now, what has this book talked about? It says the book highlights how compound interest rewards people who start early. Yes, it rewards people who start early. When your interest ends interest, your money grows exponentially, not linearly. Yeah, I was saying about the program Money Matters. I was teaching us how you can save 100 naira and, cash out. It was saying maybe cashing out like 40,000 naira at the end of the month and all of that. And he gave us the way he did that. So I think that road, the way he has actually explained to us is actually going towards the way of the compound interest. So this book is actually pointing to that aspect that is why small amounts invested for many years beat large amounts invested late. When you keep dropping, they said a little drop of water make an ocean. I do say that. They do say it's for them to just make your mind believes it. But there was a time the tap at home got spoiled, and I was like, okay, let me just put this bucket and leave. And before I could say 2-3 hours, the bucket is full. Now imagine I left home and an old tank would have been let out by just a simple drop. Now imagine you saving 100 naira, as small as it is, you will save more than saying, I just want to save this bulk of money at the same time. So that is what this book is explaining at this point. It says that compound interest is the most powerful tool for building wealth. So if you want to build your wealth, no matter how small the gain is, make sure you save something. And on that note, I will be stopping on the book review segment this afternoon on Travel with Ease, though I want to go on and on, but then we still have time to come and talk about it next week, God's willing. And I want to say thank you for staying with us this afternoon, being part of the program on Travel with Ease on JDN Radio 101.5 FM. Like I do say that I have come, you've heard my voice, but I wasn't the only one that has made this program a reality this afternoon. I was only here to convey the message of everything to you without the help of your Yebisi Durosharo, Joy Akindolu, Aisha Dele, and Olabode Makinwa. For those that made it possible for you to hear me out there, Big Ben Fadipe and Kayode Olawi. For my engineers here in the studio, mixing everything together, I give it to Spy, the Oladimeji Spy, and also Olamide. They've been here. They've been of great help with us in the studio. And also, we want to say special thanks to those of you listening, and also our caller for this afternoon, Mr. Jide, and our correspondents from all over that has given us, their experiences of the flip side of traveling. And they've given us what you should know, the few things they've experienced that people will never tell you about travel. We say a very big thank you to you. And to those that are listening, that are getting one or two things and smiling to the Vox Pop, and we're like, oh, it happens to this person. We say we love you. We appreciate you for tuning into the frequency 101.5 FM. And we say you should still keep it locked down on the frequency 101.5 FM. I remain Abiodun Samson till I come your way next week, Wednesday, on the concluding part, on the flip side of traveling, and also on the book review, How Money Works. Keep listening to 101.5 FM, JDN Radio, the only radio station that is broadcasting for all. Till then, bye.
JDN Radio.